Sit down, you silly little girl, and don't talk about things you don't understand, said Rita Skeeter coldly, her eyes hardening as they fell on Hermione. I know things about Ludo Bagman that would make your hair curl. Not that it needs it, she added, eyeing Hermione's bushy hair. Let's go, said Hermione. Come on, Harry. Ron. They left. Many people were staring at them as they went. Harry glanced back as they reached the door. Rita Skeeter's Quick Quotes quill was out. It was zooming backward and forward over a piece of parchment on the table. She'll be after you next, Hermione, said Ron in a low and worried voice as they walked quickly back up the street. Let her try, said Hermione defiantly. She was shaking with rage. I'll show her. Silly little girl, am I? Oh, I'll get her back for this. First Harry, then Hagrid. You do not want to go upsetting Rita Skeeter, said Ron nervously. I'm serious, Hermione. She'll dig up something on you. My parents don't read the Daily Prophet. She can't scare me into hiding, said Hermione, now striding along so fast that it was all Harry and Ron could do to keep up with her. The last time Harry had seen Hermione in a rage like this, she had hit Draco Malfoy. I remember that. That was from Azkaban, I think. And it says she had hit Draco Malfoy around the face. We know that she just punched him straight in the face. And Hagrid isn't hiding anymore. He should never have let that excuse for a human being upset him. Come on! Breaking into a run, she led them all the way back up the road, through the gates, flanked by winged boars. Flanked. The gates are flanked with winged boars. And up through the grounds to Hagrid's cabin. The curtains were still drawn, and they could hear Fang barking as they approached. Hagrid! Hermione shouted, pounding on his front door. Hagrid, that's enough! We know you're in there. Nobody cares if your mama's a giantess, Hagrid. You can't let that foul Skeeter woman do this to you. Hagrid, get up here! You're just being... And the door opened. Hermione said, about to... and then stopped, very suddenly, because she had found herself face to face not with Hagrid, but with Albus Dumbledore. Good afternoon, he said pleasantly, smiling down at them. We, wanted to see Hagrid? Said Hermione in a rather small voice. Yes, I surmised as much, said Dumbledore, his eyes twinkling. Why don't you come in? Okay, said Hermione. She, Ron, and Harry went into the cabin. Fang launched himself upon Harry the moment he entered, barking madly and trying to lick his ears. Harry fended off Fang and looked around. Hagrid was sitting at his table. So he was in there, where there were 2 large mugs of tea. He looked a real mess. His face was blotchy, his eyes swollen, and he had gone to the other extreme where his hair was concerned. Far from trying to make it behave, he now looked like he was wearing a wig of tangled wire. Hi, Hagrid, said Harry. Hagrid looked up. Hello, he said in a very hoarse voice.
More tea, I think, said Dumbledore,
closing the door behind Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Drawing out his wand and twiddling it, a revolving tea tray appeared in midair, along with a plate of cakes. Dumbledore magicked the tray onto the table, and everybody sat down. There was a slight pause, and then Dumbledore said,
Did you by any chance hear what Miss Granger was shouting, Hagrid?
Hermione went slightly pink, but Dumbledore smiled at her and continued,
Hermione, Harry, and Ron seem to still want to know you, judging by the way they were attempting to break down the door.
Of course we still want to know you, Harry said, staring at Hagrid. You don't think anything that Skeeter cow... Sorry, Professor, he added quickly, looking at Dumbledore.
I have gone temporarily deaf and haven't any idea what you said, Harry,
said Dumbledore, twiddling his thumbs and staring at the ceiling. Right, said Harry sheepishly. I just meant, Hagrid, how could you think we'd care what that woman wrote about you? Two fat tears leaked out of Hagrid's beetle black eyes and fell slowly into his tangled beard.
Living proof of what I've been telling you, Hagrid,
said Dumbledore, still looking carefully up at the ceiling.
I have shown you the letters from the countless parents who remember you from their own days here, telling me in no uncertain terms that if I sacked you, they would have something to say about it.
Not all of them, said Hagrid hoarsely. Not all of them want me to stay.
Really, Hagrid, if you're holding out for universal popularity, I'm afraid you will be in this cabin for a very long time,
said Dumbledore, now peering sternly over his half-moon spectacles.
Not a week has passed since I became headmaster of this school, when I haven't had at least one owl complaining about the way I run it. But what should I do? Barricade myself inside my study and refuse to talk to anyone?
Yeah, you're not half giant, said Hagrid croakily. Hagrid, look what I've got for relatives, Harry said furiously. Look at the Dursleys.
An excellent point. My own brother, Aberforth, was prosecuted for practicing inappropriate charms on a goat. It was all over the papers. But did Aberforth hide? No, he did not. He held his head high and went about his business as usual. Of course, I'm not entirely sure he can read, so that may not have been bravery.
Come back and teach, Hagrid, said Hermione quietly. Please come back. We really miss you. Hagrid gulped. More tears leaked down his cheeks and into his tangled beard. Dumbledore stood up.
I refuse to accept your resignation, and I expect you back to work on Monday. You will join me for breakfast at 8:30 in the Great Hall. No excuses. Good afternoon to you all.
And Dumbledore left the cabin, pausing only to scratch Fang's ears. When the door had shut behind him, Hagrid began to sob into his dustbin lid-sized hands. Hermione kept patting his arm, and at last Hagrid looked up, his eyes very red indeed, and said, "Great man, Dumbledore. Great man." "Yeah, he is," said Ron. "Can I have one of those cakes, Hagrid?" "Help yourself," he said, wiping his eyes on the back of his hand.
Oh, he's right, of course. You're all right. I've been stupid. My old dad would have been ashamed of the way I've been behaving.
More tears leaked out, but he wiped them away more forcefully and said, Never show you a picture of my old dad, have I? Here. Hagrid got up, went over to the dresser, opened a drawer, and pulled out a picture of a short wizard with Hagrid's crinkled black eyes, beaming as he sat on top of Hagrid's shoulder. Hagrid was a good 7 or 8 feet tall, judging by the apple tree beside him, but his face was beardless, young, round, and smooth. He looked hardly older than 11. Oh, gee. Okay. We're gonna... Oh, let me look. Okay, yeah, let's... Woo! Celebration time. That is the 40th. This is episode number 40. 40 times I've done this now. And so if I average 10 minutes, which we know we've gone over, but if I average 10 minutes per, that's 400 minutes. Unless I did my math wrong. 400 minutes. We know it's more than that because some of these go longer than 10 minutes. Wow! Crazy, man.